Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something big, a new kind of power that's quietly reshaping our world by turning our everyday lives into profit. It's called surveillance capitalism. And here's the kicker. It's not some far-off concept. We're going to look at how this is playing out right now, right here in Taiwan. Let's kick things off with this really powerful question from Shoshana Zuboff, the author who literally wrote the book on this stuff. Can the digital future be our home? I mean, think about that. She's asking us to see our online world not just as a bunch of apps and websites, but as the actual place we live now. And if it's our home, well, are we the ones in charge of it? Okay, so to really get a handle on this new digital home of ours, we've got to pull back the curtain on a new kind of power. It's this unseen economic engine that's humming away in the background, completely rewriting the rules. So, what is surveillance capitalism? Here's the core idea. It's a whole new kind of market that basically says, your life, your experiences, that's free raw material for us. It takes everything we do, translates it into data, and then sells predictions based on that data. And this is so important. This wasn't an accident. It's not just how technology works. It's a very specific business model designed to predict and, even control our behavior for a profit. Right, so how in the world did we get here? Well, it all started with a fundamental change in how companies saw all the little bits of data we create every single day. You know, every click, every search, every like. And this really lays it all out. You see, it used to be a pretty simple deal. We'd use a service, they'd collect a little data, and then they'd use that data to make the service better for us. A nice, balanced cycle. But now, it's a completely different game. The relationship is totally one-sided. Our data isn't primarily for improving our experience anymore. Instead, it becomes the key ingredient for products sold to other people, advertisers, anyone who wants to know what we'll do next. And the gold they're mining? Zuboff calls it behavioral surplus. It's basically the data exhaust, all the little traces we leave behind online. Clicks, searches, how long you hover over a picture, it's like digital breadcrumbs. For a long time, companies just saw this as leftover junk. But then they had a realization. This junk was actually a treasure trove. It became the free raw material for this whole new economic engine. And this whole system is driven by this relentless three-part logic. Think of it like a hunger that never stops. First, scale. It needs more and more data to get better at predicting things. Then, scope. It's not enough to know what you do online. It wants to know what you do in the real world, in your car, in your city, even in your home. And finally, and this is the really scary part, action. It's not enough to just predict what you're going to do. The goal is to actually shape what you do, to nudge and guide you towards whatever outcome makes them the most money. Okay, so this might all sound a bit abstract, maybe something happening far away in Silicon Valley, but it's not. This exact logic is already here and it's adapting itself to Taiwan's unique, super digital society. Let's get concrete and look at some examples. So where is this behavioral surplus coming from in Taiwan? Well, it's everywhere. It's the record of every MRT ride you take with your Easy Card. It's every like and share you hit on Facebook. It's data from smart city sensors. It's even hidden in the usage patterns of disaster apps. And you see the pattern, right? A lot of this data collection starts with a really good, helpful reason. And that's what makes it so tricky to see the bigger picture. I mean, we all remember the electronic fence during the pandemic, right? It was brought in for public health, and for the most part, people accepted it as a necessary measure. But this is a perfect example of what experts call mission creep. That's when data collected for one specific urgent reason, well, it hangs around, and it could be used for totally different things later on, things we never agreed to. A crisis can become the perfect excuse to build surveillance infrastructure that lasts long after the emergency is over. And it's not just about pandemics. Look at the idea of smart cities, like Taipei's Urban Intelligence Center. On the surface, it sounds great. Use data to make the city run more smoothly. But what's the risk? The risk is that the city starts to see us, the citizens, as just data points. Our lives become the raw material for algorithms, and the city gets managed like some giant automated beehive, losing all the beautiful, messy human parts of city life that can't be measured. Now, let's talk about the social impact, because it's not simple. This research on Facebook users here in Taiwan is fascinating. It shows that how you use it matters a lot. If you're actively posting and engaging, it can actually be good for civic life. But if you're just passively scrolling, lurking, it's linked to feeling worse about your life. And if you're mostly there for entertainment, it seems to erode your trust in other people. It's a mixed bag. to say the least. And all this leads to what we could call the have-to-use dilemma. Does this sound familiar? You might not even like the platform that much, but all your friends are there, your family group is there, the local news is there. You feel like you have to be on it to participate in society. You're kind of trapped in a network that, by its very design, profits from your dependence. And here's where it gets even darker. We've seen it with the pandemic, but think about other crises. In a place like Taiwan, which is prone to typhoons and earthquakes, we rely on apps for help and information. But our digital footprints in those moments of extreme stress and vulnerability, they can also be collected. Our emotional states can be analyzed, turning a moment of human crisis into just another data opportunity. So when you add all this up, you realize we're not just talking about a new way to sell ads, we're talking about a completely new form of power, one that's so different from what we've seen before that we actually need new words to describe it. Zuboff has a name for it: instrumentarian power. And this comparison is absolutely crucial. Totalitarianism, the power of the 20th century, used terror and violence. It wanted to control your very soul, what you believed. Instrumentarian power, it couldn't care less what you believe. It's totally indifferent to your inner life. All it cares about is shaping what you do. It works quietly, in the background, just tuning your behavior to get the results it wants. And this power is wielded by something she calls the big other. It's like Big Brother, but it's not a person or a government staring at you through a screen. It's bigger. It's this massive, interconnected web of sensors, algorithms, and devices that's always watching, always interpreting, and always acting on our behavior at a massive scale. It's a system designed to manage us from the outside. And one of the most profound consequences of all this, the knowledge of how we, as a society, actually work, what we want, how we react, what makes us tick. That knowledge is no longer public. It's been privatized. It's now owned by a few giant corporations. That creates a knowledge gap, a power imbalance that is just staggering. They know everything about us, and we know almost nothing about them. Okay, that all sounds pretty bleak. But here's the most important part. This future is not set in stone. It's not inevitable. Because it's being built day by day, that means we can challenge it. And there are some really amazing forms of resistance popping up, especially right here in Taiwan. People are fighting back, and they're building the tools to do it. You have incredible groups like GOV, the civic tech community, that are building transparent, open-source tools as an alternative. You have the Taiwan Fact Check Center, which is on the front lines fighting the algorithmic manipulation and disinformation that this system thrives on. And you have legal advocates pushing for new laws to give us back control over our data. This is what a real defense looks like. And when you boil it all down, what are we really fighting for? Zuboff calls it our right to the future tense. And it's such a beautiful way to put it. It's the basic human right to imagine your own life, to make your own plans, to build your own future, without some automated system manipulating you from the background. It's the right to have a future that is truly your own. So the goal isn't to smash our phones and go live in the woods. It's about creating sanctuaries. We need to carve out protected spaces, both online and in the real world, where we can just be. Spaces where we aren't being watched, measured, and nudged. Spaces where we can be free to be messy, unpredictable, and, human. So we're left with this. This new digital world is being built all around us, right now. And the fight for its future isn't really about cookies or privacy settings. It's about something much deeper: our freedom, our right to self-determination. The technology is here, that's a fact. But the rules for how it's used, they're still up for grabs. So the question we all have to ask ourselves is, who gets to decide what happens next?